All right, let's dive right into this explainer and build your expository writing skills from the ground up. When you think about it, constructing a compelling piece of writing is incredibly similar to designing a sturdy skyscraper. You need a rock-solid foundation, a really clear structural framework, and the right materials to hold the whole thing together. Otherwise, it just collapses under its own weight. So today, we're going to master the blueprint of expository writing.
We've all been there, right? You're slogging through a report or an essay, and halfway down the page, you realize you have absolutely no idea what the author is trying to say. You're constantly rereading paragraphs, searching for the main point. And honestly, it's just exhausting. But today, we'll go over the precise mechanics to ensure your readers never feel that way. We want your audience to walk effortlessly through your ideas, guided smoothly from room to room without ever hitting a dead end.
Here's the deal. Expository writing is basically your objective blueprint. Unlike a persuasive essay where you're trying to win someone over, or a narrative where you're spinning a story, expository writing is completely neutral. You're just presenting the facts. You're the expert tour guide here, delivering clear, logical information so that your reader walks away educated and informed, without any of your personal bias getting in the way.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the core of expository writing, crafting a strong thesis, structuring your essay, connecting your ideas, and finally, some common mistakes you absolutely need to avoid.
Let's start with part 1, the core of expository writing.
Whether you're breaking down photosynthesis, analyzing weather data for a local report, or writing a deep dive on historical events, your primary goal is to be a reliable guide. You might be dropping raw factual data, or maybe translating a highly complex scientific concept into simple, everyday terms. Or hey, maybe you're just writing a step-by-step manual on how to put a desk together. The real beauty of expository writing is just how versatile it is across almost every discipline.
Moving on to part 2, crafting a strong thesis.
If your foundation is weak, the whole building comes down. So you've got to broadcast your topic, your claim, and your main supporting points right out of the gate. Take a look at how this prompt breaks it down. You've got your topic, in this case, technology. Then your position, stating that technology has decreased our level of connectedness. And finally, your reasons, because it disconnects us from our physical environment and doesn't foster social skills. Bam! Just like that, in a single sentence, your reader knows exactly what's coming. It's incredibly efficient. Now, you can't just ask your reader a question and call it a thesis, and you definitely can't rely on vague stuff like, everyone needs to fight climate change. I mean, who is everyone? What does fight actually mean? It's way too broad. A real thesis is a specific, arguable statement that directly answers a prompt. It is not a question. You're the one who's supposed to be giving the answers. Also, avoid simple value judgments, like saying monarchs are evil. Evil is totally subjective. Instead, specify exactly how their policies wrecked the economy or disrupted social structures. Precision is absolutely your best friend here.
All right, part 3, structuring your expository essay.
Now that the foundation is poured, let's frame the house. Your introduction can't just be a polite hello. You really need to hook the reader. Maybe throw in a crazy stat or a paradox, and then drop that rock-solid thesis. Then we hit the body paragraphs. Here's a golden rule for you. Stick to one main idea per paragraph. Please don't jumble 5 concepts into one block of text. Finally, your conclusion. Don't just copy and paste your thesis and call it a day. Synthesize the evidence you just presented and answer the ultimate question for your reader. So what? Why does any of this actually matter? And here's why avoiding vague generalizations is a total game changer for your structure. If you say something dates back to previous eras, you're forcing your reader to guess. I mean, that could literally mean anything from the 1980s to the Jurassic period. But if you specify the Victorian era, boom, they are instantly grounded in a specific historical context. Clear, highly specific language is just infinitely more powerful than abstract guessing games.
Part 4, connecting ideas with coherence. A wooden frame is useless without the nails, right? Let's talk about the known new construction. Think about how jarring it sounds to say, I went to the store yesterday, I saw Roger. It feels like 2 completely random, isolated blocks of text. But if you take the known info, the store, and use the phrase, while I was there, to bridge into the new info, seeing Roger, you create this perfectly smooth transition. It's a subtle trick, but I promise it totally transforms the flow of your writing.
Using transition words is basically like adding mortar between your bricks. Words like however, consequently, or similarly ensure your reader doesn't have to literally read your mind. Remember, what's super obvious to you as the writer usually needs to be explicitly spelled out. If you're shifting focus, tell them. Throw in a nevertheless or in contrast. Showing cause and effect, use as a result. These are basically little road signs telling your reader's brain exactly how to process the next sentence.
And finally, part 5, common writing mistakes you really need to avoid. Let's do a quick final building inspection. Look, it is incredibly tempting to throw in every single piece of cool research you found, but if it doesn't directly support your thesis, cut it. It's just going to overwhelm everybody. Also, having a sophisticated idea doesn't mean you need to bust out a thesaurus and use $10 words. Keep your language simple and accessible. Tailor it to your specific audience, and for the love of everything, keep your formatting consistent and cite your sources. A polished look with ethical citations gives your hard work massive credibility.
So now you've got the ultimate architect's blueprint for clarity and structure. You've poured the thesis foundation, framed the body paragraphs, and sealed it all up with solid transitions. You are totally empowered to crush your next writing project. So the next time you sit down at your keyboard, I want you to ask yourself, are you building a confusing maze that traps your reader, or a well-lit hallway that guides them straight to the truth?